Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alienware Awesome Cup 2. We are here with North American Qualifier number 5. My name is Oz, your resident auctioneer caster, and I am always accompanied by my good friend and co-caster, Nada Pop.
Thank you, Oz. Yes, I am Nada Pop, but you can call me Nada. I'll be running the War Room, providing you with strategic insight and other fun facts about the game as we go on. Speaking of... Oh, wait. You go ahead, Oz.
Before we get into any of the games today, let's take a quick look at the standings going into these matches. As per today, we are going to see the top 10 teams in these standings, but I do want to remind you guys that we are running a season-like structure, and the top 16 teams will proceed to the grand finals. That being said, today we are seeing Boom in the lead again with 135 points, Spade's team with 88, Ninjas with Attitude at 77.99 shortly behind them at 60, Akio at 55, Ion at 50, and a somewhat leg race between the three-headed monkeys, Gelati, Barbecue, and Notorious Knots to get into those 7th through 10th positions, or 6th through 10th positions, I should say.
Oh, yes, well, and of those teams, we'll be at least seeing both Gelati and Boom, but other teams that will be present in this qualifier will be HDTV, Tigers of Darkness, Underscore, and Enderpearls. And the first match we're going to be looking at is Tigers of Darkness versus, well, the TMT Brains. I did mention those, right? Well, they're there too, and that's going to be in Sirona, so if we are ready to go that, I will quickly do the drafting for this match, and we'll get right into it. You ready, Oz?
Let's do it!
Excellent. Alright, so, the picks and bans. TMT Brain gets the first pick, and therefore also the first ban, and that ban is going to be Ayla. The response ban is Clunk. So we have Ayla and Clunk banned, two powerful characters, Clunk being the most powerful of the two on this map, I'd say. You're denying the big explodes from the bouncers, you're denying a whole lot of push that's gonna really just tear down those front turrets. So you have pretty good bans here. The first pick is going to be Coco, usual pick, top tier not. We all know how Coco is powerful with her being able to do everything and doing it significantly well. The counter response is going to be Scoop and Vinny and Spike. Vinny and Spike is insane on this map, let me tell you. With the flyer and such a lot of air, you're gonna have a good time. You really are. Silence Cloud dash damage, and of course you have that Scoop in there for the extra shutdown. You can make people fall from the bouncers, you snare them up, and really just get them in the position you want. The double pick from TMT Brains is going to be Swiggins and Skoldir. Again, I'm not quite sure why you do Skoldir in this map, but it can work. Skoldir usually does best on maps like Ribbit or Agion, where you have more tight spaces and there's not a far distance to the turret. But let's see what happens there. The last pick from Tigers of Darkness is going to be Raylan. Another great pick for this map. You got the long range and you get the time rift. That being said, Oz, I think that is all there is to do of drafting, but I do want to point out the worm of Sirona before we start, because as we all know, Sirona is going to be reworked very soon, and although the worm is staying, a lot of other things are going to change. Like the mid is going to open up and such, but you want to keep the mid, and keeping the mid now is still super important, because you get that extra farmed solar, and that's going to be important for especially Raylan, if you want to be doing well against a person to Skoldir, because he has such high HP, and with the high HP you want to keep him poked down, meaning that Ray will be dedicating a lot of her time trying to poke him down and not actually have a lot of time for farming, so the worm should go to Raylan in my opinion. That being said, I think we're ready for the countdown, and
before we actually go into the countdown, I do want to point out that we have a very burst heavy comp coming out from TMT on their side, having that Swiggins and Coco. But we also have that kind of counter burst that we can see, and counter engagement that can come out of Tigers of Darkness. We have that Raylan who can get those long range snipes. We have that Vinny and Spike who can obviously dash in. We also have that Scoop for the denial in those areas with the hammers down. But you are correct, Nada. Let's get straight into the matches. Give us a countdown, and let's get going with our first game.
Yes, sir, Mr. Auctioneer. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, once again, we do the exciting wait for the first pickups. You think it's going to be base abilities? Because I think it's going to be base abilities for most part. Except for Scoldier. Getting the rubber ducky. That's actually a good upgrade when you don't have the throw space.
We see the quick engagements right now as Tiger gets in there very quickly, taking a lot of damage. We're going in for the kill. He's looking for a real quick kill, but he's going to get picked up in the long run right there, as we can see him getting very, very greedy in the first 30 seconds of the game. Ozzy's taking a lot of damage right now by Iz, and we're going to see Tiger try and pick up that hammer. Unfortunately for him, it does not do enough damage, as the Swiggins will be teleporting back very quickly to get some health at this point. We see a Scoldier in mid alone. That's not a very smart decision on his part. He is going to take some unnecessary damage right there, and we'll see the entirety of Tigers of Darkness take mid control back.
And that means bottom lane control as well. You know, with the worm, you get the extra solar, and you can farm up that ray, get some more snipe damage going, you know, keep that Scoldier from being dangerous.
Now, I want to see Coco really get into that, as he does get into it, hitting the scoop, taking a nice chunk of damage. We're going to see them almost collapse right in on shore there, as he's going to be brought down to about 2.5 bars of health. Very early on, he will be forced to pick up that first health pack behind the first turret, as Iz and Bora go back to clearing those lanes. Very nice mid control, nice hold from the Tigers of Darkness at this point. How do you think that their comp is going to control mid once the Scoldier gets his upgrades?
Well, Scoldier is not going to have much to say when there is a Silence Cloud and a Time Rift. Combine that with a Scoop Hammer to keep him from ever dropping down or moving fast. Scoldier is going to have a hard time flushing out. I think Coco would be the one flushing and Scoldier being the follow-up.
Fair enough, fair enough. I can see that being very powerful, as we see Coco going for the blaze into that mid. And obviously you have that Swiggins in there. How is he going to play into this?
Yeah, Swiggins will be... Oh, wow.
Actually, before we go into that, we're going to see a nice engagement going on here as Boro comes in, trying to pick up a save, and does manage to save Shore, allowing him the safety to escape and get some health back at base.
Excellent. Well, that was actually a very close race snipe if you didn't catch that. That was good stuff.
Just narrowly missed, and we're going to see Tiger get snared down by that anchor from Swiggins on bottom, but nothing is going to come out of it, as nobody's there to set something up, but he's still pretty weak. If they ran in there, they potentially could have picked up a very quick kill and gotten out, but their awareness on that one wasn't the greatest. Not all members of the team were up into that top mid. They do need to clear. Very interesting that we're not seeing Tigers of Darkness take farm in that mid.
Yeah, but I would imagine they should. I mean,
and that team TMT is gonna take mid control back and start farming, which is going to allow them that huge solar difference and the snowball effect very quickly if they're allowed to stay there very long.
And that's we're looking at a pretty flushy comp from the Tigers.
As you see a nice engagement going on here, and Iz is very weak right now, and Shore is going to get in there trying to get some punches on Ozzy. Gets a nice throw coming out on Stonecross, and Tiger's going to take a huge ball, but not without a snipe coming out and hitting Boro. Boro's going to steal those HP creeps, but he will get hit by a Vinny Dash on the way out, and he's actually going to be looking to try and control Izzy right now, but he will not be able to, as another dash is going to hit him, and he's going to be forced to go back.
Oh, wow. Yeah, going back like that. Oh, look at that.
And actually, Ozzy gutting in there, and he's going to take a lot of damage. But here we see the collapse and a nice snipe coming out. That is going to be the second kill of the game as Stonecross picks up Shore on the kill. But here comes Boro looking to pick up Ozzy on the long run. I think he's going to be able to get out. He does have that flying ability. And a nice snipe hitting Boro again. Stonecross is getting very, very powerful by hitting these snipes, getting a lot of damage out in a very short amount of time, and keeping them very low.
Yeah, it is important, and that's what you want to do as Ray on this map if you can. If you're fighting high HP characters, you want to make sure you focus up your snipe for your team to poke it up, especially with such a bursty comp. You got the Vinny to follow up as well, and look at that. And
here we go. They're following up right now, going in on shore very quickly. Stonecross takes the wrong bumper, unfortunately, and misses the snipe from up top on their side. Tiger and Azzy going in on Iz right now. And unfortunately, nothing is going to come out of that for them. Boro looking to counter collapse and still they don't have the setups that they have, and unfortunately they can't make anything of that in the early game.
No, it's difficult in the early game. The early game on Sirona is largely determined by who has the mid. And if you want the mid in Sirona, you need to have a very powerful early game and a good lockdown comp.
I'm actually wondering if the Skoldir was not the greatest pick and maybe a hindrance for them in the early game right now. But we're going to see them collapse on Tiger right now. Iz gets the nice snare down, but there comes the nice rift. Boro's taking a lot of damage, and Boro is going to miss the snipe by Stonecross up top and will escape with his life, picking up that health orb and getting right back into the lane. We're going to see Shore looking to pick up a throw right here into somebody in the turret, but nothing will come out of that as nobody is set up again, and Tigers of Darkness have retaken control of mid once more. We're going back to our clearing phase right now, as we can see Boro and the entirety of TMT try and focus down. They really need to focus down one character, and in your opinion, who should that be for these setups right now?
Oh, well, we could do both teams right now, just to have sort of the play back and forth. For the Tigers of Darkness, I think the focus should be on Vinny, as he is by far the most powerful on this map right now. Oh wow, look at Coco.
Actually, Boro's going to be taking a lot of damages. That spike dive from Vinny is going to be picking up a 350. It may not be a lot of damage early on, but he's opted for the Solar Cloud. And we've seen this build before. We've seen how powerful it can be. He's going to be opting for the late game. He's going to build that up and really focus on just obtaining as much solar as possible in a short amount of time.
And Vinny's late game arrives a bit sooner than everyone else's, as he'll be maxed out at around 2,500 solar, whereas everyone else usually takes in at about 3,000 solar. So he will be at full potential a bit sooner than everyone else, and with that cloud, it's just gonna extend the process.
And the engagement right now going to Boro, and Izzy trying to pick something up there as Ozzy, I keep saying Ozzy for some odd reason, but Ozzy comes out and gets the dash in. Tell me about Raylan on Sirona and how powerful a Raylan Sirona pick can be.
Well, it all depends on what you're building. Right now, Raylan is building for Rift, something that you, of course, can do and you can make work because Rift is super powerful. I do have a set of upgrades that I like to call the Sirona Essentials, which is one stage of range and one stage of snipe damage, which I think is something so essential to have on this map, just because you get so much damage done and you will have so much presence on the map. Especially on the bouncers, you'll be able to hit the bounce snipes, you'll be able to basically jump out of mid and land those snipes, even though they are just bouncing around on that first platform. You'll have so much to say. But going for the Rift build, you need to be more aggressive and not just wait for them to jump into mid, because that's the only opportunity Raylan right now is going to have. So for the playstyle that is going on currently, I'd actually have recommended the Sirona Essentials, being one stage of range and one stage of damage once again.
That being said, we've seen the 550 dash come out on Vinny as he's going to be able to hit them through the floors on Sirona. The stars at not going to feel and a nice throw coming out as Tiger may be able to get picked up right now. He is going to get picked up by Iz, and we're going to see the counterattack come out from the Tigers of Darkness as they do manage to get all members of TMT down to about half or a quarter bar of health right there. We're seeing now Earthquake come out. A little bit late for Earthquake to come out. Nevertheless, it's a great upgrade. One of my favorite Skoldir upgrades is because it is his secondary upgrade, and to have that constant DOT is very powerful.
Yeah, when Short gets it, gets the height and the snare, I think that's really going to help against Vinny. And once again, that's gonna allow them to focus him down. As I said before, that is going to be the most important thing they can do, is just get that Vinny out of play.
We go back to our clearing phases right now. It looks like TMT has opted to actually progress through into the midsection now, as we are approaching the quote-unquote mid-game of Sirona at the 10-minute mark. But Sirona's always a mid-game, to be honest.
Yeah, that could be said, actually.
And we're going to see Boro try and hunt down Stonecross at this point. Stonecross is going to be able to get out with those boots on Raylan. A very good upgrade to pick up at any point on Raylan.
I love it. It is my bread and butter. It is so amazing.
It looks like is going to go in for the engage on Tiger there, narrowly missing a snare on him. That could have potentially set themselves up for a kill, but it seems like TMT have kind of taken control of mid and really established themselves now. It didn't look like they were doing so hot earlier on in the game, but they've seemed to progress forward and really take back mid with this comp.
It can be done, and they do have the potential to really do some damage in mid. Especially with that Swiggins, you can really charge up a good, what do you call that, a pool boy, a good pool boy burst, and just balls away, you know, and then the Scollier throw is just going to destroy you. There's nothing that can be done.
But Scollier's actually opting for Snare Quake earlier on, which is...
If he gets height, then I am all for it.
Oh yeah, that's a very solid build that he'll be having against this very good team comp. And we see it come out right now as Tiger's going to get thrown. The Rift is going to get dropped, dealing a lot of damage. Boro's taking a snipe right now. Is going to be taking a lot of damage as well, as he'll be forced to get back. A nice counter engagement coming out from the Tigers of Darkness on a very good engage set out by TMT. And we're going to see another engage as Boro is going to get picked up by the snipe of Stonekraus as he gets caught in a little bit of that Rift there, slowed down just enough so that Stonekraus can hit the snipe. We're going to see Ozzy going back to clearing those lanes, and it seems that the Tigers of Darkness have retaken this control of mid, narrowly missing a snipe. Shore there. Tiger is going to be able to get out with a few bars of health left, as Shore is looking to pick something up right now with Iz. They're not going to be able to pick anything up as the Tigers of Darkness realize that they're a man down and decide to retake mid, and it looks like they're going to be giving up mid to go and buy upgrades.
Well, when you can get the goldfish and boots, I'd say that's okay. Vinny is now taking in at the 700 dash, and that is going to do damage. That is around 3 3/4 bars of HP, I think.
We're actually seeing a huge engage right now as Tiger may be going down to Boro and Shore, but maybe he actually is going to stay in that a little bit longer. Boro's going to get picked up. Tiger's going to get picked up on that exchange, and we're going to see Ozzy looking to try and pick someone up on the dash right there. Nothing is going to come out of it, as now he is in a bad position and is going to get snared down, but the Swiggins anchor just narrowly misses, but Boro on the kill is going to chase him up into the creep zone and pick up the kill with the ball. A nice chase down by Boro, and is there. Very nice chase.
That was really cool. That was one of those rare moments where you can actually catch a Vinny overextending on this map.
And I'm pretty sure that's the only time we're going to see him overextend from that point. I think he's learned his lesson.
I think so. I would assume so. In the regards that you don't go too close to a Swiggins when you don't know what's going on, when you don't have your team. Raylan is, when you think about it, a really good pick against Swiggins because you got that Rift up. If you can bait Swiggins to attack you and just plop a Rift, he'll end up in it. He will travel himself into the Rift, and from there, the scoop will just snare him in, and there's nothing that can be done.
And it looks like Boar is going to be taking a lot of damage here, as Dirt Tiger is also taking a lot of damage on that exchange. Boro dealing a lot of damage, and both teams have dealt a lot of damage to all players. If we look at the health bars on top, half health, quarter health, and they're now actually getting more health. I'm sure that the regen from Scollier helped him survive that exchange, as he did get caught in a rift there and was very low.
Getting caught in a rift is something you don't want to do at all, but when you're Scollier, you have a very, very slow acceleration. This might be something people are not aware of, but different notes have different accelerations, so you won't reach your max speed instantly like with Raylan, where you can just turn around and you have max speed. Scollier has a bit of acceleration to it, meaning that if he changes direction or is forced to do so in a rift, he will stay in there for so much longer. So having the fat notes, quote-unquote, in the rift is really, really, really powerful.
And we're actually going to see this huge engagement going on here, as is going to pick up Tiger, and Shore is going to pick up Stonekraus, as Ozzy is going to be the only person on map right now who is teleporting back to get health, and this is going to allow a huge push to come out for TMT. I think they'll be able to take a turret on Sirona, and the turrets do have reduced health on Sirona, so a quick push can take down those first two turrets.
We will be saying goodbye to that, though, in the upcoming patch. They're giving the turrets HP back.
Woo!
Hooray!
Soon, trademark.
Soon, trademark. Everything is confirmed. All right.
But that was a huge push coming out from TMT as they were able to pick up those kills on there. What was the most important factor in that fight in the top creep zone right there?
I think it was the overcommitment of the Tigers of Darkness, using all their fancy letters and whatnot. I think they overcommitted a bit, and they ended up having a 2-stage of damage Coco Ball cooldown. Just come in there, do a lot of damage. Swiggins as well now has Pool Boy. I think it was a simple issue of overcommitting to that one kill, and then the entire team was there ready to collapse.
Fair enough, and that's a very good observation. We're going to see a 580 Coco Ball come out now. That's a huge damage increase from what we've seen before, but a nice dash coming out is going to force Boro to go back and grab some HP. 580 Ball originally from 400, and I see Gyro Ball on there, and a nice throw coming out. Shore's going to take a huge chunk of damage, and he's going to get picked up by Stonecraft on that exchange as he gets sniped right in front of his turret, and that is going to be leaving a 2v3 situation, a defensive situation to come out.
Oh,
but it looks like the double body block is coming out as the Tigers pick up Boro there, and now Iz is going to be forced, and the body blocks into the time rip, and the snipe is not going to land, but the dash is just narrowly going to miss, as Iz is going to be able to get the teleport off. Ozzy is going to go back and grab some help as well. He's got 400 solar. I'm interested to see what he's going to buy, and there we see it, the Silence Cloud.
Dun dun dun. I want to point out that had Raylan had that range one stage, she would have hit that Vinny, because her aim was the Swiggin, sorry. Aim was like on point. It was really good aiming, but just the range was not quite there.
We're actually going to see this engagement going on again as Ozzy just misses with that dash. The anchor's going to miss him as well. Boro and Shoro, I believe. No, Shore. Excuse me.
It is
Boro
short,
and Shore
actually.
defending, and another 670 ball. That's the final damage increase that Coco has on the ball. But with gyroscopic ball, that's going to be 670 with a reduced cooldown of 1.5 seconds on the ball. That's going to be a ball. That's a lot of damage.
Every 5.5 seconds.
Very short cooldown for a very powerful ability.
If you can stay in a team fight for around 5 seconds, that is more than a Clunk Explode.
And arguably it's the same. It's more than a clunk, as you said before, and it's actually Shore is getting picked up by the snipe right there. A very nice position for Stonecraft's team to be able to pick that up, and we're going to see the entirety of the Tigers of Darkness proceed to go into Iz and pick him up, as Boro is now fighting it out with Dirt Tiger. A 1v3, excuse me, coming out now, as we're going to see the Tigers of Darkness proceed into this final turret section, looking to pick up some turret damage on this, but Boro is going to get silenced on that, and the dash, a huge dash, is going to come out. Boro should just be getting health right now. He should not be trying to defend that. It's going to go down regardless. That's a 3v1 situation on the final turret. Half of it gone in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. It's important to note that the ball does not actually do full damage on droids. It's only the 40 base damage that is going to apply. So the damage, or the help with the clearing was minimal. Still, I think that he did the right thing by just staying a bit, but he could have gone back sooner.
Very nice rift coming out, and that's going to be another pickup for Stonecraft, as Ozzy is going to take a huge chunk of damage from that ball again. That gyroscopic ball, though. Let's see if he can pick up the snipe ball. He just narrowly misses it as he misses his dash in there, but he's got Dirt Tiger up top. He will be able to secure safety for his teammate, allowing him to go back and pick up some upgrades, and that is going to be a max health Vinny now.
Put that against a max health Coco. I don't know who's going to win. To Vinny, to Winnie. No, I'm not sure.
To Vinny or to...
No, Coco home with us the victory. No,
I don't palming right now.
Yeah, I can feel that. The emotional connection here is definitely telling me that. No, but when Coco gets blaze damage, I think Coco will actually be able to best Vinny, because you can actually activate your blaze and go into that silence cloud, do some nice hand-to-hand combat without having to worry about being silenced. So that is something Coco can really use and most likely abuse, because Vinny will not know what hit him.
I'm surprised that the bottom turret is still up.
Everything is being farmed.
TMT. And actually, we're going to see this engage right now as Iz is going in. He's going to get silenced and pounced on as the snipe is going to come out again. Stonecross picking up another kill, leading the pack at a 6-1 KD right now. And a lot of snipe kills. A huge amount, actually.
And this is why I'm actually... I'm gonna, like, I get the build, HC Bomb, super powerful, AA Ray is really good, but when all your kills come from sniping, it makes sense to build up your snipe just a little bit. It's all about
actually looks like that will be the turret down as Dirt Tiger is going to push in with Azzy right now. He's going to land the silence. He's actually going to pick up that kill on shore as we're going to see another kill come out in favor of the Tigers of Darkness. They've taken the lead in the kill count 10-5. We can see the solar difference coming out now as he's going to get hit with a huge chunk of HP gone and a 670 ball hitting Dirt Tiger on that exchange. We're going to see them continue to push though.
Well, they'd need to sync up now. That's the time. We need to see them move up right now.
And a very late piggy bank coming out.
Well, if there's not going to be a late game if they don't piggy right now. So well, I get that.
Well, we're in the late game. We're at 21 minutes. But the late game on Serona usually is around 30 minutes.
It is. Time is something else. It means nothing like it does everywhere else. Time as a mere concept does not exist. No,
it's all relative on Serona. Time is relative on Serona. Snipe just narrowly missing as Boro and Shore are going to remain in this top lane as we're going to see him try and get down on the Tiger there as a nice dash is going to hit both members and Boro is just going to narrowly escape the snipe coming out just a second too late. No kill will be picked up by the Tigers on there, but nice awareness coming out on TMT, noticing that they were going to collapse and retreating back there. And we saw Iz trying to tank some damage there from Boro, and he did. And we're seeing that time rift come out. We're going to see this huge push coming out for the Tigers of Darkness as all three members of TMT are going to be forced to defend in their final turret section. And that time rift dropped again, but Azzy's going to be in a bad spot, but he's going to get the body blocks off as he's going to pick up Iz on that exchange. And a 1-for-none coming out in favor of the Tigers of Darkness. A nice ball landing, and we're going to see this last turret now go down for TMT as the Tigers of Darkness proceed to secure the drill, and they're going to be dealing a lot of damage right now as we see them pick up those last droids and proceed to push into the core. But that's not to exclude them on the exchange right now. Unfortunately, Shore is going to go down. Boro's going to be forced to defend against a 3v1 again on the core. I don't know if he's going to be able to defend this, but look at that damage that Ray is going to output. A huge chunk of HP coming out. Is going to pick him up on the exchange. We're going to see Tiger and Azzy try and pick him up, and that is going to be another pickup from them. A counter initiation and a kill, securing the victory for the Tigers of Darkness. Now, what could have went differently? How could that have possibly gone any differently for TMT?
Well, we could start assuming that we have the picks and bans, they're done for a reason, and may whoever did it know what they meant and the best intentions and all that. But I would have liked to see Skoldir pick up that height on Earthquake, really get Vinny in his fist, make sure he can get those throws, and have Coco. Well, Coco built some Blaze. We need to keep them, somewhere where we can do damage. And when Vinny just flies away, it's hard to do damage to a flying Vinny if you've ever tried that. It really takes some thinking. So I'd like to see Coco pick up maybe some slow, just get some Blaze damage. Maybe Blaze Ball would do nicely. Just get them some CZ going, so your bigger and fatter knots can do some more damage. Because Skoldir has a huge damage potential, but that potential has to be utilized in some way. And if you don't have the opportunity for that, then it's going to be hard. And you have these fast knots. Raylan can just outrun you, drop a time rift, and Scoop will just throw a hammer at you, laugh at you, and then steal your wallet. That is where we're at. Skoldir has a wallet made of fists. It is powerful. But yeah, I would like to see some more CC in general, and especially for Coco, some more Blaze upgrades, damage, etc. get some more of that in there. I think Swiggins actually did a good job, build-wise. It was really, really good.
Well, both teams did a good job, but minor changes in the builds could have easily swayed the tides of battle. As you said before, more CC coming out on the Coco, maybe getting more slow, building into a Blaze build and a Ball. Heavenly Fire build could have definitely worked out a little bit better in the long run. But I see what he was going for. He was going for that burst and that constant harass with the 5.5 second ball. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. That being said, before we take our break, we are having our first Robo Scoop giveaway of the day. It is going to be on Twitter. You have to be following Ronimo Games and keep an eye out for a tweet coming out from them about the Awesome Cup. All you have to do is retweet it, and that's it. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Auctioneer.
Just retweet it, and you will be entered to win yourself a Robo Scoop. That being said, we'll be right back with Game 2 of the day, Gelati versus HDTV.